So here we are. I'm very honored to have you here, Michael in Israel and Jonas in Iceland. And it's just amazing that we can meet, sitting at our homes, I guess, and sharing. So I feel very supported by having you come and look into the book a little bit and like share your reflections. It makes me feel really safer on launching the book. So if you could start by introducing yourselves, where you are, maybe our connection, and just a little bit about the first reflection on having looked into the book a little bit. Let's start with this.
Yeah, should I start? Or?
Yes, okay, sure.
Okay. My name is Jonas and I live in Selfoss, which is about 40 minutes drive on the south coast of Iceland. I live here with my wife and well, it's tempting to say 2 daughters, but the older one already moved out, so there's 1 daughter then. We used to work and live in Sólheimar, Echo Village, and not far by here, about 30 minutes drive. And that's where I met Matilda first, a few years ago. Yeah, I started out as a photographer a long time ago, but now more into business, and I was running Sólheimar company site, and now we are doing our own business project here. Yeah, I looked at the chapter, of course, and looked over the book. I looked over the names of the chapter, and it sounds really good to me, and the forward as well. So it seems like you've done a really good job with the book.
Yes. Thank you so much for giving it. I had to call to a son here to not make noises while we're recording. That's why. Thank you so much for looking into it. And like your first reflections, how would you say about that? How would you describe what kind of book is this, or what? Yeah.
It's basically about, of course, your journey, but I think many people can reflect on the feeling that you described, and yeah, and maybe a little bit envy you from being able to do that, because maybe deep down it's all what we really want is to find our inner self and be who we really are, but then we have our daily lives and children and so on. So, but you have managed to find some kind of a balance, which is quite interesting.
Oh, great. So yeah, I'd love that, if that could be a reflection that envy doesn't help so much, rather to what is happening here. Can I use some pieces possibly? Yeah. And it's great to hear that you sense that I'm describing my journey.
Yeah.
Take a,
I think it will actually help others to try to find balance and connect to themselves somehow.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, Jonas, and we will share some more. Yes, great. Michael.
Yay, hello. I'm Michael, or in Hebrew we say Michael Finkel.
Yes.
My name. I live in Israel, but I was living in France many years, in Europe. I'm a circus artist, and I'm a tango teacher and organizer of Milonga, it's a tango assembly of people to dance tango. And these last few years, I teach nonviolent communication, and nonviolent communication in sexuality and in intimacy. And I got into this, I'm running a laboratory of intimacy, erotics, and sexuality in Israel for the last 3 years, which means a lot of teaching and a lot of trying to map and to explain to myself and to people all this world of intimacy, sexuality, communication. And the base of what I do is communication. I met Matilda in a workshop, because I run workshops, so I go also to do workshops, because I believe in taking people on a journey that I did at least one, and to take people on places where I walked already some path, and I can tell the people the way I was walking. So I go to a lot of workshops, and in one of them I met Matilda. Yeah,
Yes,
and
beautiful.
I read the chapter, and my first impression is that wow, wow, it's beautiful, and it's so beautiful to take something that is so taboo to talk about, and then to give something that is so human, and it's not. It's like in the title there is sex, but it's so much more. This little bit chapter, I feel like there is a human journey there. Of, there's so that includes emotion and courage and fear and and confronting life. And I think my impression is that in talking about your personal episode, actually you're saying things that are much wider about fear, courage, about the blockage inside that we have, about going out of our pattern or playing our pattern consciously. Yeah, I'm really interested to read the rest of the book.
Oh, I'm I'm happy. I'm happy to hear all those beautiful words, and I'm happy also to hear that it might be of use. You know that you cannot get something because I had not, didn't know how to do it. You know, how can I share? The aim is kind of to give away my experience to, yeah. And I hear that you hear some pieces that make you reflect and taking on a journey. It sounds really beautiful. So let's share more about it in just a little bit. Yes, thank you. So thank you both for this introduction to start with. Great. So we're going to keep sharing together around the chapter number 18, which has gotten the name Flow. So here I'm trying to kind of describe how I'm thinking about like getting back into flow. You know, flow is like a sweet place to be, but how to get back in there. Yeah. So where should we start? What points did you kind of did resonate with you, or did wake up questions?
I'll be provocative. I'll
Yes,
I'll I'll point something
yes.
because I mean I have my answer, but I'm really interested to hear your answer to that because when I read your chapter about flow, there is like I can understand that you say even if you don't feel to, just jump on it and do it. And there it's like so even if I don't feel like to do sex today, so should I do it? And I use the word should.
Yeah.
And although that I don't feel to, and what how will the flow be there?
Mm,
How do I know when the flow is telling me
mm,
no, or how do and I force myself? What is the right thing to know when I'm not pushing myself to do something that actually my body or my emotions are making me signs, it's not a good idea.
mm. Well, that to me that reflection is fantastic because you know doing something without being there or body not wanting it, no, not at all whatsoever. So it's more the kind of game of how do I invite myself into, you know, from being irritated or busy or you know whatever it is, how do I kind of relieve myself again to like feel into sexual flow again or just intimacy, or it's more about that for me. Yeah, that would be my reflection. You want to continue, Jonas?
I mean, I'm just wondering, it must have been hard at some point to get back in the flow.
um it must have been hard. That's such a
I
great
mean, sometimes people are not always into it, and you said you then put yourself in the mood, but for sure sometimes has been difficult to get in that mood and keep
yeah.
the flow going. for sure, I guess.
It's great questions. I'm thinking and reflecting right now. It must have been hard. Well, I would not talk about it as hard. It's more, you know, when my body, you know, it's well, what's hard is when there's a conflict or irritation, or you know, we're very dynamic people in my house, so it's a very alive, you know, family in many ways. So the challenging part is like becoming friends again, or you know, going from that, because those are the you know, and the whole commitment from both of us to come together in a sexual meeting every 24 hours, it has done that our conflicts becomes shorter. Yeah, because both of us want to kind of drop what we're doing as soon as we can. Yeah, so we're both, it's two people being committed, you know, to coming into intimacy again. That's how I would describe it. But from becoming a friend, you know, from becoming close again, as soon as the body is already, I didn't know that it was possible, but today my body's kind of turned on the whole time. It's not turned off. Yeah, so just being close to another body is just fantastic at any moment. So it's very short into a flow together. How is the sound, Mikael?
Good.
It's okay, good. Yeah. What is your reflection on those words, Jonas?
No, it's, I mean, for us who are in a long relationship, I mean, it's all about having the flow going. And of course, also the sexes are different. We, the guys, are different from the girls. We can shut out most of all conflicts and just be into it. But for women, that's different, usually. So, but of course, the guys want the girls to feel good. So it's always some way of keeping the balance and being in the flow.
Yeah.
And if you get out of the flow, you have to try to work yourself back in it, like you described you have been doing. So it's all about the flow. So it's actually, this chapter, I found it very interesting, short but interesting, because it's so important.
You want to keep reflecting on that, Mikael?
I find that working with the flow is something really to learn. What is right for me at the moment, and when my feeling of no, I don't want. When are they really coming from the flow, from an intuition of something need to change, and when are they just my pattern? There's a difference between, and to get to know myself, like the Buddha has said, Siddhartha Gautama, know yourself.
Yes.
This is a long path, and then just checking when am I really on the flow, and what sometimes when something doesn't feel right, it's not doesn't there is a wrong feeling, is like just checking. Maybe there is a change that needs to be done. Maybe there's a change that is already happening, and I have to admit that there is a change. Just see the change, and maybe I'm avoiding some change that needs to happen because I'm afraid of something. My patterns are making me avoid something. So there is this dance, like dancing with the flow, that is a very subtle thing to learn. It's in sexuality and in life.
Yes.
It's the same.
Yes. I'm connecting to a beautiful part which I don't think I have written about in the book, actually, and that is also it's also the possibility of getting, you know, like getting into intimacy, like having bodies connect, starting to touch, and there the flow also start to flow. So that's, you know, it's very easy to like enlighten each other, or like activate each other. So it's also one way would be to, oh, I'm gonna wait until I feel like it. Yeah. The other one, you know, for me it's very essential to touch. Yeah. So myself or someone else, you know, it's essential. Yeah. So it gets my juice, it gets my energy turned on. So if I'm not there, I can always touch something or someone. And for example, also, yeah.
Can I reflect on that?
Yes.
Because I play with that. I have a workshop that I play with position, and I play with positions alone and position of placing people in position. And sometimes people say, I don't feel well, and then I make them sit like this and put their head like that, and then for a few minutes, and then sit like that, and be with, or put their hands like holding their arms, and feel that.
Yes.
And then to see that just changing position alone make me feel things. It's like activating myself feeling. It's like in physical theater. I want to play a person that is here, or a person that has something here. And but then it's the same. I take the people and I place them in a different position that in a way provoke intimacy or provoke sensuality. And it's very interesting. I find there's certain positions that erotic, directly there is erotic vibe there in the room. Almost doesn't matter with who you place the people. And
Yes.
I wonder if there is some positions that if I put people in this position, they fall in love. And I'm sure there is. It's just like finding the certain position that the body in a certain position with another body in a certain position will provoke that.
I love that. What you're saying is actually we can support ourselves with inviting the body and body movements and positions to open ourselves up and activate ourselves instead of waiting for something. Yeah. So we have an effect on you know what the body is doing.
It's like somebody says, oh, sitting like that, and like saying, yeah, I don't feel good. So we can wait and to see if you can feel good, or we can say, okay, try to sit like that.
Yeah.
You still not feel good. The thing is, the theme is there. If somebody is not feeling good, it's not just changing the body position or will make a difference. It will, but the thing will still be there, but maybe not the same density, and not the whole person identifying the sadness or loneliness or boredom or whatever is happening at the moment in the person's life.
Beautiful point. Yonas, you want to connect with that?
Well, it's interesting. You can also read a lot about from the Persian body language, and of course, and when the position of ourselves and how we feel is so important, but also is of course communication. So I think, I mean, we all plays together, of course.
Yes.
Both position of the body language, communication. It's all part of keeping the flow going, or being in the flow or not.
Absolutely. Or opening the flow if you you're up for.
Yeah, opening. Yeah.
Beautiful points.
So, but reading it is of course, when you read it, you reflect a little bit, think about yourself a little bit, of course, and yeah, and just how important, realize how important the flow is and the communication to keep everyone and everything just going smoothly. And I think it has to come kind of natural, not think too much about it, or not being too systematically trying to be in a flow or get your partner in the flow or someone else. It just has to be something you don't really think about. It just happens, and that's flow. That's possible. It becomes natural. Maybe you can, maybe possible to kind of almost kind of practice to be relaxed and open and so on.
Yeah, you can practice to relax and be open.
Yeah.
How would you practice that? How are you thinking?
I don't know how to. Of course, again, I thought about thinking about personal experience. Maybe not so good to a bit too personal, but I can say I'm, for example, I'm quite calm person myself. I have a partner who can be sometimes a little bit not as calm, so I do it on purpose to calm her down. To sometimes, for example.
Oh, so you can, for example, like support yourself to come into more presence and support your partner in doing the same.
Yeah, absolutely. To create helping, not myself, but also the partner and others to get into the flow and be present at that time, not think about something else. For example.
Beautiful, beautiful. I also like the part in this chapter about being an observer, you know, like being outside of the flow, or it's like the body is the access in my, you know, it's like taking the brain out.
Yeah.
You know, just getting into some kind of body something, you know, it's kind of the access in a way.
Yeah. And then also it depends if a person is in a relationship or single and meeting other people once in a while. I mean, it's people, if you're not in a household with a person, that's totally different, because boundaries within a household can and will affect the flow, as you for sure know. So you know, there's different angles, and then you think about, let's say, if you're for example, let's say you have an open relationship and you meet someone else, when you don't share household with that person, and then you can think, are you maybe escaping something that you don't want to deal with your partner, with being in the flow? Just lots of questions and maybe no right answer.
Yeah, and it's just beautiful to reflect and feel into what works, and you know. Yeah. You want to take the ball, Michael?
Yeah, one of the things I do is I teach nonviolent communication in sexuality, and one of the things people say is that if I say something, if I put boundaries, it stops the flow. And like this, there is this like the flow become the erotic flow becomes kind of this precious thing that we are fragile things that is wrong to break or to stop, and this is wrong because boundaries can stop the physical flow, but if the communication that we can create that the intimacy will grow, and then we go back to the flow with more wider. And this is something really delicate to understand. How do I maybe put a boundary but come closer? Not put a boundary and go back, but I stay boundary and I come closer. And how to put boundaries inside the flow. And we think about the flow usually like very in a masculine way, very mind way. The flow is one flow, like one river going down. Actually, a river is really interesting because you have one flow, and the flow goes like that every time there is a rock. You can see when somebody is saying a boundary, it's just a rock in the river, and it just go like that. And then we have a contra flow. Inside the flow, we have also like inside the river, we have these little places where it goes like that in spirals. And you have suddenly the river is flowing there, but there you have like something goes like that in circles. And it's really, really actually slow. So in the middle of the river, it's really fast. And you have all the fish that are using that to go up and down the river. And they are using the flow, but it's not only one flow. So I use this metaphor of a river to understand that there's inside a flow, there's many, many, many flows. And maybe sometimes it looks like our communication putting a boundary of something that we don't want at the moment, like we don't want penetration at the moment. So it doesn't mean this is end of the situation. It means, okay, we're going out of the main flow that we used to do into, we don't know what is happening there on the river, but we're still in a sexual, erotic situation, but there will not be penetration. So this thing of putting a boundary and keeping the flow, understanding that the flow is not a one flow, but a sexual flow can go in many directions. It's an important thing for connecting communication about desires, expressing desires and expressing boundaries and putting them with the flow.
It's very, very exciting how it can actually grow with boundaries, like you say, and desires and longings.
They're very good words. Very, very interesting what you're saying. Because I totally really agree on how important everything is regarding the flow and how we can make it bigger and more and deeper connection, and all that is very, very important.
Yeah. Tell me what you hear when you hear Michael talk, Yonas. What is it that you see when he talks now?
Well, he of course have some kind of deeper understanding of or view on things, and the words using is it helps others, including me, and for sure others who comes to your workshops to open up and be more aware of themselves and their surroundings, I think. And connect with yourself and connect with your partners, with your partner and so on. I think you must be helping a lot of people to be more connected.
I can give an example. Like many times we think that men have this thing of erection. If there is no erection, there is no sexuality. But it's just if we see that sexuality is like this river that there is erection, we go in this flow. But if there is no erection, we're still sexuality, but there will be something else happening, which is just different. And I want to say another thing is that it will be the same in relationships. Many times we see conflict as a problem in the relationship, but relationship, work relationship or couple relationship, sexual relationship, is a flow. And conflicts are a part of the flow. Not that the relationship is wrong. It just means that the relationship is working. Something there is. It's like this rock in the river. We have to maybe to slow down something. Maybe you have to stop and talk. Maybe the relationship needs to take care of something at the moment because for somebody there is something really important that he wants to bring. So seeing conflict or boundaries as a resource instead of an obstacle.
I hear that.
All those things, I'm sure Matilda knows about haven't she gone through it all, or most of it?
Well, I think we're never fully trained.
No, no.
You know, well, when we die, we're probably fully trained. But what I hear when you speak is that like the conflicts are like dynamic to the like birthing of, you know, also if we don't have, you know, some kind of conflicts, we might be suppressing something. So to have, you know, conflicts, or to speak about things, or to dare to bring things up and to solve them, and it brings like dynamic to the energy also, you know, in the bodies, you know.
And doesn't really have to be conflicts always. It's just discussion and different opinion.
Absolutely, 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 yeah, absolutely.
So, well, all about communication, and yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any other angle from peeking into it, or questions, or reflections?
I just want to say that I'm so happy you're doing it. I'm so happy you're writing this book and you're going for this. It's like, it's beautiful to take something that is personal, and it demands a lot of courage to put it outside. And I find a lot of generosity, and,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's very valuable. You have a lot of value about your journey. It's like a transmission of the way we can confront sexuality, we can confront relationships, and confront life.
Yeah.
So, yay! Good.
Yay. It's funny how it's been developing, because over the years, when I have shared a little bit about this daily kind of game that had become our everyday, people have asked me, why did you share? And I have not understood how, you know, I don't know how to do this. So this way of like taking now, like isolating points kind of in these short chapters, and mixing it with what I'm feeling while writing, you know, that has been so delicious, you know, because I'm present to myself, and it just become the way that I do it, and not knowing if it's possible to read or you know, anything like that. It's more, how can I yeah, like share, because the journey that it's like black and white, the journey that my body has taken from this activity and open up, and the bliss state that's now. I had no idea it was possible to feel this way. So the aim is so much to, you know, it's like it's possible to feel like bliss inside, not only sometimes, but the whole time, you know. And that's like the aim of that the body actually develops. My longing is to kind of give that away. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think your journey, you probably learned a lot, and by sharing this to the readers, I'm sure you'll open people's eyes and help them to maybe start their own. So I think it's really good.
Yeah, it feels right now very scary, like death scary, like it would be better to just forget it now and hide.
Yeah.
So
sure.
really, yeah. So it also feels that I've kind of trained my body to keep breathing and you know, shaking it all off and through.
But you must feel a little bit proud too, right? You did it.
I feel extraordinarily proud when I hear your words, and just the possibility that from having a peak that it gives something. That's like, whoa, that's so fantastic. It gives me a lot, of course. So I'm very excited and very scared, and yes,
maybe that's a good mix.
Yes, It is what it is. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's very much for me that it's like my way, how I want to live my life is to be the most true I can be. So it's not an option anymore to hide away. You know, it's like
No,
if
no,
I can keep standing, if I can keep sharing, this is what I want our world to look like. This is what I am living. This is who I want to be. So it's also, you know, it's also like the highest truth to myself, and how I wish that other people kind of did or lived, or, you know, like to bring out. Of course, it's so kind of weird that the most beautiful things that I am experiencing, I have not been sharing. You know, it's like kind of double. You know, all the, you know, things around sexual energy and feeling good and pleasure, and that's locked behind a door in the dark, you know, for most people, not talked about. And it's kind of so, we need to kind of, you know, like break that whole, you know, like recharge sexuality with all this beautiful, you know.
Yeah, but maybe it was not good to, if you have to share it right away, maybe it's better this way, that you put everything together and you have time to think things over, and then you finally publish everything at the same time, and then you have had time to grow things within yourself and put it on finally out the way you want it.
Yeah, it's extremely beautiful to have you now and the other people I'm meeting. It's just, it's so amazing because it was never there. It has just developed, you know. Oh, I can invite people to support me, you know, to share, to look a little bit and share. And it becomes this huge, like many voices talking about the same thing. So it's not only me, it's not about me at all, actually, you know. At the same time, it's so not about me. It happens to me that it's me, it's kind of coming through me or something, but, you know, it's not about my nipple or my vagina or my, you know, not at all. It's more about, you know, what happens while reading with oneself anyway. Yeah. Mm.
It's just great. It's perfect.
More reflections, Mikael.
As I said earlier, you for sure help so many others to open up, and I mean, you're just sharing things through you that people have been, probably many have been looking for without even knowing it, or knowing they're missing something but don't really know what.
Yeah, and maybe it's just that we, just like what you're teaching everything, Mikael, you know, we have not been wiser. You know, it's like opening up. It's nothing wrong with what is. We're just becoming wiser. Yeah. So we need to like train and talk newly and practice and like start to build the future muscles, kind of. It's how
I find that it's less scarier to people when there is the understanding that talking about sexuality and learning about sexuality, it's actually learning about sovereignty and how to be a sovereign being.
Yeah, can you explain that? Because that word, I don't know if people kind of know and kind of get that word, sovereignty.
I'm a sovereign being and responsible being when I am capable to express clearly what I want and what I don't want. And then I am a responsible person in my community, in my relationships. I'm a person that responsible. It means I have the ability to respond. The meaning of responsibility. Like person that is just reacting is not a very responsible person. But a responsible person has the choice, have the ability to choose what do I respond. The ability to choose what I respond, responsibility is coming from the being able to know what I want, to be clear to myself what I want, and to be clear to myself what I don't want, and to have the capacity to say it, or to act it, or to be clear with the people around where I am. This is sovereignty. Being a sovereign being means a responsible being, taking responsibility on my different parts inside me. And so when we actually, your book is about sexuality and daily sexuality, but in a way, through that, we can see how we can become a sovereign being, how we can create for ourselves the experience that we want in life, and how can I create what I want instead of waiting that the good environment will be there, the good moment will be there, the exact person, or I go and I make an effort and I do, and I try to move in the direction that I want things to be for me, in love and in sexuality, and not just waiting that something will happen from itself. Things are happening by themselves, that also need to have this willpower inside and to say, what do I want? What do I really want? What can I do today, an hour, for making that happen?
Yes.
To change everything in my whole day, but can I do an hour, being clear for myself what I want, and spending an hour, 10 minutes, and I'm in this 10 minutes, in this hour, I really try to go in the direction that I want my life to go, that I want my relationship to go, that I want my sexuality to go. And then I feel I go back to where I started. Talking about sexuality is in a way and about a conscious sexuality. It's actually talking about sovereignty, being a sovereign being, being a responsible being, which means being responsible of my boundaries, my desire, what I want and what I don't want, and being clear with that to myself and to the other people around.
I completely resonate with that, because also the book is so not about anyone like picking up the same rhythm that we are doing, or what I'm doing. It's not at all about that. It's more about what you said. What do I want, and how can I start to invite that slowly?
Then comes the synergy part. I want something, the other person wants a different thing. What do we?
Yes.
Not a lose-lose situation or a win-lose situation, but how can we create a win-win situation? Synergy.
Yes. This is really exciting. But also, what I understand with myself, that being clear of what I want or what I need, or expressing that and allowing myself to feel pleasure, has not been any, teaching in or understanding. So that's like a whole field also, to just get what is good for me. What do I allow myself? What do I communicate that? Or is it like a secret I wish that someone would maybe sometime, So there are many pieces of starting, like, to open and reflect on and play with. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so many aspects. There's so much to think about. It's I think for people it's good. It's just that I don't think people will exactly copy what you did, but they'll just get them to think about themselves and the practice. I think isn't that the main goal, to get people to open up and think about and be more aware of themselves and others and the surroundings.
Yeah, and it's also really fun in a way, because for me it has been a process of writing, like getting these points. Okay, what can I write about? Doing that, and then now it's like a painting. Yeah. So it's not to be changed, and I don't care what you do with it. in a way, you know, and it's very relaxing in a way like that. So I'm happy when it has a positive effect. If it does not have a positive effect, go do something else with your time, you know. Really, don't bother about this. But if it has a positive effect, fantastic, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, great. We're going to start to like complete our sharing time together. So any last words or anything you want to say to complete before we finish together?
I think I've probably said it all, and maybe I will just start repeating myself, but I mean, the flow is so important. Well, maybe one of the most important things in the whole thing, and communication, and it's opened my eyes, and it will open up other people's eyes. And you know, I think all this, what you've done, give people a lot. Open their eyes, get them to think. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Thank you for those beautiful words, Jonas. Thank you.
No problem.
I will add to that that it's beautiful, this journey, and we are recording today a podcast about nonviolent communication and sexuality in Hebrew, and one of the things I said that we talk about communication in sexuality, in the time that you're in sexual action, and also before, after, and like sometimes talking about our sexuality just after, like saying, wow, you remember that moment? Oh, and that moment, that was interesting. And there, what happened in that moment there? And creating actually a culture of that, talking about our sexuality is a part of our sexual life. So I thought, in a way, writing about your experience, it's like a continuation of actually being your experience, and it's like another way of living that, what you are living.
Yeah.
So it's like now you're writing about it, so it's giving. It's growing.
Yes.
So it's growing for you, but it's also very generous because it's like it's giving part. It's like inviting people to this journey.
Yes.
You read your book.
And really what I love is to kind of acknowledge the richness of living in a body and feeling energy at all times, and like acknowledging that and celebrate that and show it and talk about it and lift it up and raise that kind of happiness of having sexual energies or energies in any kind, or just noticing what's going on in body. It's like the greatest gift. Yeah. Thank you, my dear friends, for co-journeying and meeting together and spending your time and sharing your heart. Thank you, Yonas, so much, and thank you, Mikael, so much.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes.
It's really nice. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much for now.